Friday, Saturday. All those days are named after gods of Greeks and Romans. So our whole system is named after a god system. Sunday is worship of the sun, S-U-N, the sun god. So everything is based upon pagan ideologies that were mixed in with the religions of the time.
Hey, has anybody ever read? Anybody can influence.
Wait a minute. Read the Bible. Read the Bible. Read the Bible. Read the Bible.
Qurans and all that.
Focus. You're lagging a little bit.
The person stanwoot said again.
All right, save my spot. I'm gonna read first.
I got you.
Hey, has anybody ever read the Bible in Aramaic?
What's that?
Has anybody ever read the Bible in Aramaic?
No, I have not been able to read in Arabic because I don't read it, so I wouldn't understand it.
But the actual some of the names, I know some of the Aramaic names, but the actual text Aramaic really doesn't have any type of vowel sounds. You don't know what sounds make what sounds. Whereas the Arabic language, they have little symbols which shows you what sounds to make from the words. The Aramaic is so ancient that it's just symbols. You don't know what sounds they make. Man.
Anybody ever read the New Testament in Greek?
Have you read both of those?
Yeah. Point I'm making is a lot of the concepts and interpretations that we have in this country are basically just flat out wrong. If you read the original text, New Testament was originally in Greek. If you read the Aramaic of the Hebrew or of the Old Testament, a lot of the concept that we got now, when we translate it, we lost. For like, when
I thought it was written in 3 languages, the original.
Aramaic.
Written in 3 languages?
I have it right
Aramaic,
here.
Arabic, and Hebrew for my studies. And for the Old Testament, you're looking at Latin and Greek.
The best
which
book I've ever owned.
That's what I'm saying. Because what they did was that it was just basically a book that was compiled of a bunch of stories that and different people adding their little parts into it. It wasn't all written by one person.
It's basically a history book. It's basically a history book. It's chronicling like the beginning of the civilization.
But a lot of watered down stories. With a lot of stories that were passed down from one person to another.
It's still a nice story though.
Yeah. It's cool.
Hey, look, the Bible ain't no different than me and you following all the presidents.
Hey, Cat, go ahead. I can't hear you.
If we follow all the presidents that ever became president,
the Bible is the equivalent
all the
to
presidents.
me. Wait a minute. The Bible to me is the equivalent of Twitter back then. It's a whole bunch of people's different opinions and views on what was going on at that present time. So right now, if people were to go a million years from now and pull up all our transcripts from Twitter, they would think that the book of Esco and the book of Cat is what was going on because they have no idea. So they're going to say Esco, the book of Esco is 100% correct. Well, we don't know that. We weren't there. So as far as I know, Daniel could have had an avid imagination and been drunk as hell, or an alcoholic or a drug addict. You don't know, and he could have been just delusional and saw him walking on water. You don't know this stuff. This is what I'm saying. So none of us were there. So that's the
thing about it is,
nice story.
The thing about it is, it's excellent stories, excellent morals. Okay. It's excellent stories and excellent morals, you feel me, in the book that you can live by, but don't take it literal. Like, you feel me, Jonah didn't really get washed up in the whale's mouth, you feel me, and stayed there for 3 days and then spit back up. You feel me?
That's a real story. That's real.
Bro.
Hey, maybe.
Come on, you sound ignorant.
Focus.
Think about it, though. Logically, hold on, let me finish though. Logically, you feel me? That's not possible. You
All right, focus.
But what the story was is when God tells you to do something, drop what you're doing and go do what God needs you to do. That's what the story behind the story is. It's not literally a nigga was in a whale's mouth and spit up. Come on now, true.
Maybe, focus. You ever think of this? Maybe that whale was actually a submarine. Back then, 6,000 years ago.
Come on. Do you know anything about technology?
Let me say it again. I'm going to say it again. Maybe that
mic is too loud, Fox. The mic is too loud. You gotta lower it. It's distorting when you talk.
All right, give me a second.
Sorry about that, guys. You know what I'm saying? Brief intermission. www.DofatTV.com/NYC. It's still a little loud, but make sure you're logged in the right way. www.dope.
Hey, do you know what stomach acids are? When you swallow something, your stomach acids break it down. Now, imagine what's in a whale's stomach acid.
Nah, but what Fox is saying is
that
if somebody 1,000 years
your speakers are too loud, bro.
seen a craft, whether it's a spaceship or a submarine at that time, they could have thought, compared it to a whale. So if John in Revelation seen birds that looked like, you know, balls of fire, he could have been looking at planes in actuality, because they didn't know, they couldn't identify. So that's the point he's coming from. They could have been something other than what they thought. It didn't have to be an actual whale as we know it. That's
right, and because they didn't know what it was, they just said it was a whale. Like it's a group of indigenous people right now in the South Pacific, and I think it was about 1977.
South America.
Yeah, South America. In 1977, they saw a helicopter, and they started bowing down to it. They thought it was God coming out of the sky. See my point?
Just like the Mexicans, I mean not the Mexicans, the what do you call that? The Aztecs that saw the Spaniards that came. They saw them shining in the metal, and they thought they were gods. They saw the metal shining, and they bowed down to them, and they kneeled to them, and did whatever the fuck they wanted to do, and that's how they all got fucking killed.
I ain't gonna lie though, the Europeans, to their credit,
more of a reason that you cannot say that this shit is credible.
Yeah, but to the Europeans' credit, Focus Black Man, it's like a lot of our indigenous people, from the Taino Indians to the Africans, like we were real fucking spooked out about a lot of shit, because the Europeans were more practical and more realistic about stuff. Every time you go to, you know, one of our places, we're always spooked out, and this is a god, and this is this, and that's how they was able to, manipulate us. So many different religions and different deals, and selling Manhattan for beads, and it was crazy, you know, a lot of shit, because niggas were always spooked out so much.
They knew that we were a spiritual people, because in actuality, black people, Africans, are a spiritual people, and so they they capitalized off of that, and they said we need to control these people, so we're gonna use this doctrine, switch it around for our favor. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why you look at the imagery of Christianity. They image themselves. You know what I mean? Their God is a reflection of themselves. And so we're praising that God, image-wise. Think about that.
Hey, look.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You ever
look on the cover of the Bible, and it's a white God. It always is. Even though in the Bible, that's crazy. It tells you clearly in the book that he's brown-skinned, got hair like wool, but they still put a white motherfucker with a goatee that looked like, what's his name?
Santa Claus.
No, he looked like, what's his name that made the Muppets? Jim Henson.
Charles Manson
look like Willie Nelson.
They put a motherfucker look like, yeah, that's right, Willie Nelson on the cover of a goddamn book and say, this is Jesus. They say, well, wait a minute, sir, in the book it say he's black. Shut the fuck up, nigga, you can't read. And it was like, oh, right. Master's right.
Sad, actually. It's very sad. It's very sad.
Yeah, it is, because we were ignorant. I mean, just the same way they had
Still
us.
are.
They had us, but back then, you know, now we have some form of intelligence, but even then we were dumb as a doorknob. I mean, even our English, we learned English from them talking to us and from us overhearing them. So that's why a lot of African Americans, when you can talk on the phone and tell someone is black, quote unquote, or tell they're urban, this is why. Because their speech is broken. Their speech was learned, and it's been passed down and passed down and passed down, which is why in the South now, if you're starting to notice, there's starting to be an influx of people in the South that are not country anymore. If you're starting to notice that, where before, if you were from Dallas or you were from Florida, you knew that person was from there. Now you have people that are talking with clear dialect, because it's starting to, the people are starting to migrate, people are starting to move to different areas, and the majority of people that live in these major cities are not from these major cities. So you're starting to have an influx in change.
Well, a lot of New Yorkers are also moving to Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly. Well, everyone's moving to Atlanta. I mean, you have people from everywhere moving to Atlanta. So you have a lot of Detroit people, a lot of New Yorkers, a lot of Jamaicans, and a lot of Africans, and a lot of Asians. So Atlanta's a huge mix. So you tend to not see people that are here that are really originally from here. Look at every recording artist that quote unquote is from here. Usher's not from here. Usher's from Tennessee. You got Bow Wow, he's not from here. Jermaine Dupri's not from here. None of them. Jermaine Dupri is from the Bronx.
Wait a minute, where are you from?
You said, where am I from? I'm from Ohio.
Oh.
So the thing is, you have people that
used to get bricks out in Ohio, home.
There you go, Cameron. But like I was saying, you have all these people that are not from these certain areas and they're migrating. And the thing is, religion is starting to break down, and I really see it. Because when you pay attention, the most people that go to church, they go to church for a sense of, I'm supposed to be here.
Yo, country, let me get your spot real quick. I'm sorry.
People will go fuck a bitch, literally go to church the next morning. A bitch will strip, trick, suck, and suck dick all goddamn night and be like, oh, I can't suck your dick for another hour. I gotta get up for church. It's like they're programmed to go, and they'll go as soon as they leave church, go suck some more dick. It's crazy. And you really look at it, you got dope dealers that will stop selling dope, that will turn their music down when they pass the church, will pull up in the church, go to church, give tithe, and leave right there and go sell some crack to somebody. People go because they have a sense of being programmed that they have to be there.
Yo, I wanted to touch back on that speech thing real quick. How you said that people are starting to speak more proper down south. But, I mean, we speak English, but if we was to go to England, they think we were speaking broken up, you know what I'm saying, English, because they speak it more proper, and the words that we use aren't how they use it over there.
Right.
So to them, we're speaking stupid.
Yeah, but even when you go to England now, this is what's crazy. I went to London, and when you go to London, they are beginning to speak like us, the newer generations. Their accents aren't as bad anymore. Which is why you're hearing an influx in singers that are coming from there that sound like they're American. Their accents are almost non-existent now. There's almost one universal language amongst all of us now. Hip-hop has literally changed everything. So you've got everybody talking one specific type of way now. And it's going to happen because everyone is growing up listening to the same thing. And then, as we say, humans evolve genetically and DNA-wise every 10 years. Humans are evolving, whether it's one strand of DNA or two. Humans are evolving slowly.